What kind of more? What kind of more do we need? You've been saying more for a while. And do you see a second derivative problem with the recovery right now, that it's waning because we have more to do and haven't done it?
Wow, I'm so excited. There's definitely a second derivative problem, which is that the recovery is slowing. Some measures are actually going in reverse, a first derivative problem. And regardless, any of the progress we've made has been in part due to the extraordinary amount of support the economy got in the months of May and June. You take that support away, even if we didn't have the rising caseloads, the economy would falter. So what do we need to do? State and local assistance. We didn't do enough of that the first time. We need to do a lot more this time. Unemployment insurance, I think it would be fine to taper the $600 down a bit, but we definitely need something robust for the many, many tens of millions of people who are without a job through no fault of their own.
I don't think we have you on to disagree, Strain, but you never do. Do you agree with most of what Jason is saying there?
Well, Jason just said we should taper the $600 unemployment insurance benefit supplement, which, of course, I agree with, I think you should be asking Jason why he doesn't disagree with me on that. I do think we need to give some money to state and local governments. Republicans are concerned about shoring up pension funds, and I think that would be a very inappropriate use of taxpayer money to take federal dollars and give those to state pension funds that have been mismanaged. But there should be ways to give some money to the states that with some strings attached, so that it doesn't get used for pension funds, but it does get used for helping states that are dealing with significant revenue shortfalls, but that can't run budget deficits. That ties into what I think is shaping up to be the biggest threat to the fragile recovery in the fall, which is schools not reopening. If schools don't reopen, people aren't going to go back to work. You're just now starting to see some major school districts say that they're going to stick with virtual learning in the fall. That's not really something I expected. I expected everybody would be trying, at least trying to get back to a 5-day in-person school week. One thing the federal government can do is just provide leadership to these school districts. But also, school districts are going to need some money to put up plastic shields and buy masks and buy hand sanitizer and convert the gym into a bunch of smaller classrooms and do whatever. That's an opportunity for Congress to help continue to support the recovery.
Andrew.
And Michael, but to that point, and we were talking to Scott Gottlieb about this earlier, why has there not been a move to provide and devote federal funds to create the equivalent of mandatory testing at K through 12 schools and provide significant PPE? If we were to do that, it might cost a lot, but it would be worth it on the other end. You could even argue simply because you could therefore hopefully bring the economy back. You'd be testing communities full on all the time because you can be testing not just the kids, but also teachers. You'd protect the teachers, so you create that sense of confidence. But we have not had a conversation about using government funds in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to move testing out of doctors' offices and into the community. And I think schools are a great place to do that kind of testing. Also, larger workplaces, things of this nature. We have a testing problem. That's obviously no secret. But if the tests are available, then I think getting those into the schools and testing students as often as possible, every day ideally, would be an investment that would pay a huge return in terms of allowing the schools to stay open, which would have the downstream benefit of allowing parents to go back to work. So if the testing capability is at the point where we can do that, then I think that would be a great use of money. And again, these state and local governments and these school districts, they're not sitting on piles of cash they can spend on this sort of thing. So you've seen the federal government replace the income that households have lost. You've seen the federal government replace the income that small businesses have lost. You've seen the government help finance income loss for larger businesses. It's really, I think, appropriate for the federal government to help state and local governments with the tax revenue they've lost particularly in intelligent ways, like making sure kids can go back to school in the fall.